What if I told you that the chaos of modern stock markets, the flashing screens, the crashes, the sudden fortunes, all started in a small, foggy port city in the 17th century? Before crypto, before Wall Street, before Silicon Valley, one single company changed the way humans think about risk, profit, and power: the Dutch East India Company. It turned pieces of paper into power. It turned rumors into money, and it created a system so powerful that we still live inside it today. It's the early 1600s. Europe is obsessed with spices from Asia: pepper, cloves, nutmeg, cinnamon, luxury goods worth more than their weight in silver. To get them, ships must sail for months across dangerous oceans. Storms can tear a ship apart in a single night. Pirates wait along the trade routes. Disease kills sailors long before they see land again. Some ships never return. In Amsterdam, a group of merchants faces a huge problem. They want the incredible profits of the spice trade, but sending a single ship is like betting your entire fortune on one roll of the dice. If the ship sinks, so does your wealth, your business, your family's future. These merchants are smart. They don't just want to be rich, they want to be rich without risking total destruction every time they send a ship. So they begin to ask a new question. What if, instead of one man taking all the risk, many people could share it? To solve their problem, they invent something radically new. Instead of one rich man financing one ship, they create a company that can own many ships, run many voyages, and last for many years. This company can raise money from hundreds of investors. Each investor pays in some capital, gold, silver, or goods, and in exchange, they receive a piece of paper, a share. This share is more than a receipt. It represents a tiny slice of the company itself, its ships, its cargo, its future profits. If the company grows, if its trade routes expand, if its ships return loaded with spices, each share becomes more valuable. The investor doesn't need to go to sea, doesn't need to negotiate directly with foreign rulers, doesn't even need to see a single bag of pepper. For the first time in history, regular merchants, not kings, not emperors, not feudal lords, can own a slice of a global empire, simply by holding a piece of paper. This is an enormous mental shift. Wealth is no longer tied only to land or gold locked in a chest, but to the future of an organization, to expectations, to belief. The Dutch East India Company becomes one of the first great joint stock companies, and Amsterdam becomes the laboratory where this new idea of shared risk and shared profit is tested on a massive scale. At first, these shares are just a way to raise money, but very quickly, people notice something strange. You don't have to keep your share forever. You can sell it. One man who needs cash now sells his share to someone else who believes the company will keep growing. The price of the share is not fixed. It depends on what people think the company is worth. News begins to travel through the city. A ship returns early, filled with rare spices. The price of shares jumps. A rumor of a storm, a war, or a lost vessel. Prices fall. More and more people get involved. Not just original investors, but speculators who only want to buy low and sell high. They don't care about pepper, or trade routes, or sailors. They care about the number written on a piece of paper. In the streets near the Amsterdam Exchange, men meet every day to trade these shares. They shout, they argue, they bargain over the value of the company. Prices rise and fall like the tides. For the first time, you can become rich, not by building ships or crossing oceans or commanding armies, but simply by making the right bets on pieces of paper. Amsterdam has just invented something we now call the stock market, a place where ownership of businesses can be bought and sold like grain, where expectations become prices, and where the mood of a crowd can change the value of a fortune in a single afternoon. This new system creates enormous wealth, but also enormous tension. Some families build dynasties just by holding shares and passing them on to their children. Their houses along the canals grow bigger and more decorated. Their influence in politics increases. They profit not only from trade, but from the rise in the value of their paper assets. At the same time, many workers see little of this new wealth. They load and unload ships, risking their health and their lives, while others grow rich by moving ink on contracts. Speculation starts to take over. People buy shares not because they believe in the long-term future of the company, but because they hope to sell quickly to someone even more optimistic or more desperate. Prices can climb to absurd levels, detached from reality, inflated by rumors, excitement, and fear of missing out. And when confidence breaks, when bad news spreads, or trust disappears, prices crash. Hard. Some people lose everything in a single panic. Lifetimes of savings vanish because the market no longer believes in the story behind the paper. For the first time in history, rumor, confidence, and fear become as powerful as gold or silver. Money is no longer just metal you can touch. It becomes a story that millions of people agree to believe in, or stop believing in, all at once. Today, we still live in the world Amsterdam created. Every stock, every index fund, every trading app on your phone is built on the same basic idea the Dutch East India Company pioneered. Many people sharing risk, chasing profit, and betting on the future. Behind every green candle, every red crash, every price alert, there are not just numbers but human emotions, fear, greed, hope, and trust. Markets are not machines. They are mirrors reflecting what millions of people feel and believe at the same time. The rules of this game were written centuries ago by merchants trying to survive dangerous seas and make impossible voyages profitable. If you want to understand money today, bubbles, crashes, financial crises, and sudden fortunes, you need to understand the stories that built this system in the first place. This is one of those stories. If you enjoyed this journey, subscribe for more real stories of money and power throughout history, from ancient empires to the financial world you live in right now.